Welcome to How Preschool Teachers Do It.
I'm Cindy.
I'm Alison.
And we have a combined 55 years of experience working with children, families, and experts in early education.
We are not random influencers.
No, we are not. Whether you are new or have been our podcast peeps since 2018, we are thrilled you found us. Happy Monday, everybody.
Hi, peeps.
Welcome back to How Preschool Teachers Do It. We're glad to have you here. And Allison is going to let us know now, especially from a couple places we think we haven't shouted out before.
I don't believe we've shouted these two out either, and that's very exciting because the last couple episodes, they've all been like new places. So, hi to the people of the Netherlands. How are you? And also to the fine people of Wyoming.
My son was in the Netherlands not too long ago.
That's right.
Yeah.
I remember that now.
Yeah. He loved it.
Yeah.
He loved the whole thing. Also, he said one of his favorite cities now is Brussels. But he loved, he traveled the Netherlands for a little bit, and he said it's amazing.
Wow.
So maybe we'll get there someday.
Yeah.
In the meantime, please tell the people who you know in Wyoming and the Netherlands and everywhere else to please come and listen to the podcast. We really appreciate it. Yeah. We love seeing that there are people in new places who have found us. So go tell the other people in your new place that we are here, and we are very happy to have these discussions every Monday morning about young children, families, things that impact them, things that impact early educators and early education.
Yes. So
please do come and invite them to be one of our preschool peeps.
Yay.
Right? And today we're going to talk about, since we're talking about how we feel about having new people joining us. I love these segues so much. I know, I love these segues so much.
Just talk.
So since we're talking about that, we're going to be talking about those feelings and emotion words. Yes. I know you probably have charts in classrooms that show different emotions. And I know you probably have books that talk about things like what to do when you're mad and what to do when you're sad. Mm-hmm. And I know you may have images up in the classroom. And they all usually have the same sorts of words, like this is mad, this is sad, this is surprised, this is excited, this is happy,
this is frustrated,
right, this is frustrated, this is right. So we tend to use these words, and there is this big giant emotion wheel with all of the emotion words. We do want to teach children emotion words, but there is something that we need to recognize in our communications and in children's communications, and it's that not every word that communicates an emotion is on your emotions chart. Not every word that communicates an emotion is on the big giant emotions wheel. Yeah. There are words that human beings use to communicate emotions that have more to do with how it feels in your body than these words that, when you think about words, can we get philosophical for a second?
Okay.
Okay, stick with me. We're going to go a little meta or something. When you think about words, they're really just these sounds that we assigned a definition to, right?
It's a made-up construct, right? Like, it's kind of made up, right? We made this stuff up at one point.
We're deeply in the weeds now. But there are other words, especially children will use, to describe how they're feeling, because young children, when they have these big feelings because of their brain development, and when they have these feelings, and when we do, there's a reaction in your body. Now, when you say to children, how does that feel? They are more likely to be able to tell you how it feels in their body. Most adults have to stop and think about it. Yeah. Like, I've had people say to me, where are you feeling that in your body? And I have to pause. Where for children, it's like right there on the surface. So very often they'll describe how they feel with these sorts of words. Yeah. I was recently attending a Train the Trainer, and the person who was facilitating it was talking about how her child describes feeling anxious as feeling buzzy. I feel buzzy. Yeah. Right? It's a sensation. Yeah. It's a sensation to feel buzzy. Yeah. So like her child will say, I feel buzzy. And you kind of can't you kind of picture like bees just buzzing around inside this child?
Well, because anxiety is sometimes described as like butterflies in your stomach kind of feeling, right? Because you have that fluttery, like you're like a little jittery, maybe you're just or maybe you're just like overly excited and it's all in there and it's just buzzing out. So does that make sense? I mean, to me it makes sense.
My son when he was young.
Yeah.
And still to this day sometimes, because he knows I know what he means, okay?
Yeah.
He didn't need to tell me the emotion. He would come in and he would say to me, Mommy, and he was young, and he would say, Mommy, I have the gut feeling. And I knew that that was anxiety or guilt for my son. He didn't come in and say, as a child, he didn't come in and say, I'm feeling anxious or I'm feeling guilty or I'm feeling both anxious and guilty, which is usually what it was. He used to come in and say, I have the gut feeling. And I understood what sort of emotion he was trying to express. Right. I've heard people say, I feel heavy when they're sad and depressed.
Sad and depressed, you're heavy.
You're right. I feel heavy.
Because you're weighed down with something that's a heavy feeling.
Right.
I'm old. So I recently went to an appointment and somebody asked me how I was doing and I said, my head feels overcrowded. And I use that because my head did feel
so that's like is it overwhelmed?
I think it's overwhelmed, or like where you have so many thoughts and the thoughts are going all over the place and you can't really like focus on any one of those thoughts. But I also think it was like so many emotions mixed in. I didn't have just one emotion. So there wasn't a word for the emotion I was feeling. So I kind of had to make a word. And that's the word that came to my mind when I described it. And the person I was talking to figured it out through talking about it. But like, if I'm old and I'm still describing feelings this way and emotions this way.
Older, not
older. Okay. Then like, and I think honestly it's because there was no definition for what I was feeling. There was no word.
Right. So sometimes these emotion words on the charts do not fully describe what we're like that heavy. I have felt heavy. Yeah. You know, like there's so much weighing me down, so many thoughts or emotions or sadness or grief. Yes. Grief can feel very heavy. Yeah. You know, I've also felt light. Yeah. When I'm joyous, excited about something that's happened. Don't you get in your body, I do anyway, a sensation of almost floating when something is so exciting.
Of the word, like, you know how people describe, like, I feel flighty?
Is that more like not thinking clearly?
Oh, is it?
Flighty is like you are kind of ditzy, flighty. You forget things all the time, and you don't keep your appointments. You don't show up for your Zoom.
Flighty. Oh, but I think that okay. You're forgetting things, right? You're flighty because you forgot things, but maybe you're forgetting things because you're having some sort of emotion that's making your head overcrowded, like mine was. Maybe. You know what I mean? Or okay.
I think we can all relate to this. That the way we feel is sometimes very sensory. Yes. And when I was in this train the trainer, the person who was training us was saying that that especially for people with certain neurological diagnoses, it's especially true that they relate to feelings through sensations rather than these feeling words that we have on posters. Yeah. I think it's important for us to recognize that when a child says something like, I'm feeling buzzy, we can just accept that as their emotion. We don't have to start to go, well, are you guilty? Are you anxious? We can just accept that as the word. Right. If a human being says to you, I'm feeling heavy, we don't have to be like, well, what is that? Is that depressed? Is that overwhelmed? We can try to find out what's bothering them. Definitely. We can say, oh my gosh, share what's going on.
But why do we need to define it?
But I don't know that I need to go, okay, that concept of you feeling heavy is not legitimate. We need one of these legitimate words that's on my poster.
It doesn't fit into my emotions wheel. Could you be more specific? No, come on.
We don't have to do that. We don't have to do that. Yeah. And in young children who are especially sensory, right? From ages birth to 2.5 is the sensory motor phase of development where children are learning about themselves in the world through movement and the 5 senses. Right. Or there's more than 5, actually. There's 7. I misstated that. But they're learning about it through sensory input. How about that? Right. And then that stays with us because you and I still do everything, learn everything, connect to everything through sensory input, whether we are hearing it, seeing it,
smelling it.
Right. It's still, we remain very, very sensory beings.
Yes.
So when a child says something like, I feel buzzy, we shouldn't laugh at them. We shouldn't write it off.
Like, well, that's not a feeling.
Right.
Yeah, you know, like.
Don't say it's not a feeling. We shouldn't write it off. We shouldn't laugh at them. We shouldn't always try to be connecting the dot back to my emotions chart.
Right.
We can just accept that, and I can kind of relate to how buzzy feels. So think about the words that we're using. I can relate to how buzzy feels. I can relate to how light and heavy feel.
Yep.
I can relate to how my brain being overcrowded. I also can relate to that.
Yeah.
I have said to people, when they've said, how are you feeling? I've said my brain feels heavy. And I've also said my brain feels tight. It's making my brain, what did I say the other day? It's making my brain hurt. It's making my brain tighten, I think is what I said. Like there was a sensation in my head from something that I found very difficult to understand and confusing. Where I just said, it's making my brain tight. Because there is no word for that.
There's no word for that. Because I think I have used, this is making my brain hurt.
Yeah, I've done that too.
In that, this is too much for me to think about right now. Mm-hmm. I think that's what I mean when I say that, but other people might have a different definition. But like, there's no words to describe that feeling. You know,
it reminds me of something else. So I have gone to physical therapy, and I also love my massage therapist, by the way. I love her. So when they are massaging, whether it's for physical therapy or a good massage therapist, they can tell you where you have inflammation. Yes. And both, you're going to laugh at this, both the person who does the massage and my physical therapist, when you have a lot of swelling that's like very fluidy and can be broken up, they both call that crinkly.
Crinkly?
They'll say to me, like, your foot feels crinkly today.
Okay.
And I looked at them and said, crinkly? Like, what do you mean crinkly? And they kind of couldn't describe it.
Like knotty? Like, because when I've had a massage, like, you're very knotty.
No, it's different. It has to do with inflammation, and it has to do with if they can move.
If they can move it.
Move it or something. But they'll be like...
Interesting.
I actually brought up that they both use the same word.
It's like a medical term, crinkly.
Crinkly.
Because they both use it.
So when I said... And they don't know each other, these two people. And so independently, I said, what do you mean crinkly? Because they were both using the same word. They really had a hard time describing to me what they were feeling. And I think that's true for children, too. Here's where I was going with this. We've landed, folks. Here's where I was going. The plane's coming in. So I think children also, if a child says to me, I'm feeling the gut feeling.
Yes.
And if I, as an adult, were to say, well, are you feeling guilty? Are you feeling anxious? They're going to be like, kind of like the people with the swelling where they're like, it's just crinkly. I think they would just be like, it's just the feeling right here in my gut. It's just... Yeah.
But I think that's why sometimes when you keep asking these questions, they just keep repeating the same words because they don't...
Yes.
There's no other way to describe it. I feel buzzy. Yes. You know, and you keep saying, well, what do you mean? Like, I feel buzzy. Like, there's no other way to describe it. They're just going to keep saying the same thing.
They are. They're just going to, right. Or I think about when I'm really, really nervous and I get this feeling in my stomach. My nerves live, like, nervousness is in my stomach. Yeah. And I get a feeling that I don't know that there is a word to describe in an emotion word on a wheel or something. I just think, like, to say to someone, I'm feeling anxious doesn't do justice to this feeling that I'm having in my gut, because that's a really strong feeling.
Yes.
Right? And so when you are interacting with people, and especially young children, let's not negate those sensory words and say that's not a feeling word. Let me teach you a feeling word. That is a feeling word.
Yes.
And we need to just respond like we would if they would have said to us, I'm feeling nervous. When they say, here's how I'm feeling, we need to say to them something like, I'm sorry you're feeling that way. Everybody feels that way sometimes. Can you tell me what's making you feel that way? I don't need to start. And I've seen people do this. I've seen people say to them, oh, that's called nervous. I don't necessarily have to do that every single time.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think we have to define it.
I think it's okay to teach them. You might be, there's a word for it, right?
Okay.
There's a word, but I don't have to do it every single time, because I feel like if you do it every single time, I'm negating what they're describing to me.
That's what I'm getting at, is that if you say, oh, that means you're nervous. Well, maybe that doesn't mean they're nervous. Maybe it's something else, and nervous doesn't encompass.
Right.
what they're feeling. So
Right.
you're just sitting there like, oh, you're just nervous. Like, no, it's more than that, and that's why they use this word instead of you saying, hey, I'm just nervous.
Yeah.
You know?
Because isn't it true that sometimes, like, if you're really sad, don't we describe that as, I feel like I have a lump in my throat?
Yes.
My head hurts, my eyes, something. I mean, I think we describe it in how we feel.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying don't teach them those feelings words. I'm not saying that, folks. I don't want to get a bunch of emails saying, what are you saying? We shouldn't teach them what sad is or nervous. No, yes, you should. But also, they get to describe it for themselves and their own body in however they describe it. And you can simultaneously, they can know there's something called happiness, and I describe it this way. I describe it as feeling very light.
Right, because don't you, like, it's almost like you're putting the emotion words are making the child's emotions be put in a box.
Yes.
And there's so much more to emotions than just like, you're happy. Like, no, you can feel happy and sad at the same time.
My happy could be light.
Yes.
And another person's happy could be something else.
Right.
I don't know what.
And like, I feel like when you're only teaching the words that are on the chart, like I'm saying, teach the words that are on the chart. But when you're only teaching that, you're putting them in a box of like, oh, but my happy doesn't feel like what this book described or what she's describing. So is it really happy? And that's like, no, my happy is different than Cindy's happy. Cindy might be happy doing something totally different than what I'm doing.
And it feels different in my body.
Yes.
So we're going to encourage you all to expand the emotions talk.
Yes.
Yes, read your books. Yes, go over your feelings chart.
Yes.
Yes, do all that with the children. Yes, talk about, like, with the children even, to sit down with them and say, I'm feeling a little sad today.
Yeah.
You know, here's how I'm feeling a little happy today. You're welcome to use those words.
Yeah.
Let's just not negate it when children describe the feeling in their body or when any adult does.
Right.
You know? I think of all the times where I've said things to my husband like, you know, I'm feeling like sluggish today. I'm feeling...
Yeah.
Right? Or I'm feeling slow. I'm feeling my body's moving slow.
Yeah.
I'm feeling like I'm moving slow, which can be partly how I feel.
Right.
An emotion.
Yeah, because when I feel like I'm going slow, it's usually because I don't want to do something. And it might be because I'm anxious about it. It might be because I'm sad about it. It might just be like, there's no rush in this. I may as well just... so I'm going slow.
Right.
Or sometimes I find myself driving slow because of whatever. It's
because
just,
you're anxious.
You're anxious about something.
Especially where we live. Driving is like
Driving's a thing.
Yeah.
A thing. There might be a
thing.
sinkhole that opens up right in front of you. You never know.
You don't know. You don't know what's going to happen.
You never know.
So let's do that, folks. Let's expand our acceptance of words about how children are feeling and how we are all feeling.
Yeah.
If you have any, I want to invite everyone to do something, please. We gave you some, but I'm sure you've heard children use other words to describe how they are feeling, what their emotions are. Please send them to us. We would love to share them. So you go to howpreschoolteachersdoit.com to the contact form, Facebook to our Facebook page. You can message us, email us, whatever, like get in touch with us and let us know what are some of those sensory words that you've heard people use, children or adults, to describe how it is they're feeling. And we will catch you next time on the podcast, everybody.